Welcome back to the Two Bald Guys Sports Podcast. I'm Adam.
I'm Tony.
So, Tony, I always got questions for you.
Bring it. I love them.
All right.
I love them.
Green Bay is expecting 8 to 10 inches of snow. We talked about this. We wanted it to be a snow game. I think it's going to be a snow game. So, my question to you is, if you lived in Green Bay, would you help Snuvel? Oh, my gosh. Snuvel shovel snow for $12 an hour.
$12 an hour?
$12 an hour. Would you go to Lambeau Field and shovel snow?
If I'm a huge Packers fan, I personally am not going to do it because I don't care about the Packers. But
if you were a Packers fan living in Green Bay, would you go Lambeau Field and help them shovel snow for $12 an hour?
If that was my team, probably.
My other question to you is, what else is going on in Green Bay that you would want to do instead of shoveling snow?
Anything else. Shoveling snow is horrible.
$12 an hour doesn't sound like a lot, but I mean, you're helping out.
Right.
Look,
people would do it for free.
So I'm sure most people know this, but I knew it a little bit. But my son loves, Aiden loves Green Bay.
Packers.
He's reading about Green Bay. In case you didn't know, do you know who owns the Packers?
No, who owns the Packers?
The community.
They don't have an owner?
They don't have an owner.
No kidding.
They own shares, and that's how they own it. Yeah, so the community owns that team.
They don't have a Jerry Jones up there.
They don't have a Jerry Jones.
I did not know that.
They have like a GM, but they don't have an owner.
They don't have an Al Davis type person up there.
No, they don't.
No kidding.
Like you can buy shares of the team.
So basically the city, the community.
Well, I mean, we down here in Florida could own part of the Packers if we wanted to. I don't personally want to spend money on the Packers.
No, not at all.
But they do. So, do you think that might goes into a little bit about it, wanting to shovel some snow?
Absolutely.
If you own the team,
Absolutely.
you're part of your team.
I didn't know that. That makes a big difference.
Yeah,
that makes a huge difference. That's good information. Not a lot of people know that. I guarantee you.
You know what's better than shoveling snow?
Not shoveling snow.
Living in Florida.
Yes,
and that's what we get to do.
That's why we're here. I am going back to Nebraska in a couple of weeks for the weekend.
I'm sorry.
I'm excited to see my family.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
But it's not going to be warm.
Are you going to see Scott Frost?
I'm going to see Frost, but not Scott Frost. He's about 45 minutes away from where I grew up.
He's trying to figure out how to win some football games.
He needs to do a little bit better. They recruited a 4-star wide receiver or something.
Oh, my God.
That's about it.
Wait a minute. Does he play defense?
No, he doesn't. So that's
does he play quarterback to get the ball to him?
No. So he's literally just a 4-star out there running around, not doing much at all.
Okay, because Martinez is a decent quarterback, but he's not great. Decent.
The offensive line's not good.
No. Do they have a running back?
Trash. He got released from the team, I think, that Washington cat. I think he got released for something. I don't know. I just see Nebraska falling apart at the seams. So the volleyball team's really good, though. They always make a run in the tournament.
Yeah, they do.
The basketball team,
they're bad this year.
Yeah, sometimes they're competitive at basketball.
Their baseball team's okay.
Their baseball team had
except Erstad just left.
They had a good year last year, pretty good year.
They did.
I think they made it super regionals.
Yep. Not super regionals. They made it regionals.
Just the regionals. They didn't make it super. So, but the football team's really bad. So.
All right, but we live in Florida.
Yeah.
It got cold the other night.
What was it, like 50 something?
It got down in the 40s one night.
I got up for work in the morning and it was like 54. It was chilly.
Yeah, it was a little chilly.
I had to turn the heater on for a minute in my car.
Had to wear
long sleeves.
Did you wear a sweatshirt and some pants?
I had long sleeves on. I probably could have put a coat on, but.
So, anyways, it is going to be cold in Green Bay. They said 25 degrees is a high for Sunday. Now, granted, the high could happen at noon.
Right.
They play at 6:40.
No, it's not going to be.
It's not going to be
on
25.
the way down. It's going to be.
Look. I'm all like, I want good football, but my God, bring on a snow game.
Plus, this is one of those where if you get home field.
Yeah.
In the playoffs, it's huge when
the
you
Packers,
play in a place
the Packers have to be happy it's snowing.
Absolutely they are.
Because I think
that's what they do. They win in the snow.
The Seahawks are a better team. We talked about this. I think the Seahawks are a better team.
Neutral field in a dome, I think Seahawks win almost every time.
This year.
In Lambeau?
With snow?
Right now?
With that crowd?
They're in trouble.
I think that might turn the Packers into a favorite.
I haven't looked at the line. I think Packers are favorite actually. But I think it's going up. I think it was almost even at one point. Now it's like 4.5 or something.
Does that change your mind then? If you were to pick that game, does that change your mind? If you had to put some money on it. I know we talked about the Seahawks winning. Does it change your mind?
I'm going to look at the weather for sure. And if they're going to get snow, it's going to be cold. It's not going to be warm.
Right.
If they're going to get serious amounts of snow during the game, that changes my mind. First of all, Aaron Rodgers is still pretty good.
He's okay.
That defense is pretty good, right?
It's okay.
The Seahawks are good, but when you play in Lambeau, it's a whole different game. It's like going to Chicago and Soldier Field.
Yeah,
forget about it.
It is. So that makes that game very interesting.
This is the one time where I do like NFL a little bit better than college because of going to the cold places.
That's when we go back.
And we've talked about
that. Go back. How much fun would the playoffs be? Let's go to college football.
Forget about the teams.
We're talking about NFL. Forget about teams. I know this year they're like, oh, Oklahoma got killed, and they're like that should be like there should not be more than 4 teams. I'm like, you know what?
Who were you going to put it? Who else were you going to put in?
Like at that point, yeah. But at this point, how many times are the teams just so much better? Really? I mean, Alabama and Clemson have been really, really good. But what happens when they start to come back down to earth, like college basketball is this year, when they're all not really, really good?
Right, when it's all pretty even.
But then again, like, how about like a Southern team actually travel north and play in cold weather?
Right. What if Clemson had to go play in Columbus?
Right.
Does that change some things?
It does.
Absolutely. You got to go play at the shoe.
Because the knock on the Big Ten is always that they're slower, right? The SEC is faster than the Big Ten. The Big Ten's fast still, but the SEC, I know they're like, well, Trevor Lawrence ran away from the DBs. Well, Trevor Lawrence has a stride of about 7 foot.
6'6", man.
So if they had to go to Columbus, I mean,
changes everything.
Now how much fun would that be?
That 1, 2, 3, and 4 ranking really doesn't mean a whole lot. But if you get home field advantage when you're number 1 and number 2, now it does.
Right.
Now that's what 2 and 3, that 3 spot, that Clemson, they would have to go to Ohio State. That game's different.
Look. Right now, the way it stands, being second or third doesn't matter at all. Like, it doesn't matter.
No, not really.
2 and 3, it doesn't matter. 1 and 4 does.
A little
2
bit,
and 3 doesn't.
Just in the last couple of years.
But if you expanded the playoffs a little bit, because you're not getting rid of the bowls. Forget the bowls or whatever.
But you still have the bowls. Move them.
Add 4 more teams.
We got 2 weeks teams off between the championship game.
Right. That's what people said. They're like, are the playoffs still going on? Like, This isn't the NFL where they need to set up all this stuff. Like, they should have played, like, Thursday or Friday. Actually, they should be playing, like, tonight.
They should play tonight. Play tonight. Why not? Or play a week, 5 days ago.
Speaking of playing on Monday, I know we're bouncing around. LSU canceled classes for Monday and Tuesday.
Did they cancel them?
Yeah.
They finally did. There was big talk that they still had to go to class on Monday, which I didn't think was a big deal, but Tuesday's the day.
Yeah.
What if they lose now? We cancel class on Tuesday? That's kind of arrogant. Thinking, we're going to win. We're going to celebrate.
Yeah.
When they get beat. They can lose this game. Clemson can win this game.
Yeah, Clemson can win this game.
Brett Venables, 2 weeks to study. Look what he did to Tua last year.
Yeah.
I know that defense isn't quite as good as it was last year, but same.
But you're telling me expand it to 8 teams in the first round, be on the road. You're not losing bowl games.
You're not losing bowl games, and you're creating a home field advantage in college like the NFL. I like college much better than the NFL because every game means more.
Yeah.
Because you don't have a 5-loss team making it to the championship game or anything like that. But this home field advantage that Green Bay is going to be experiencing is huge.
God, that would be so much fun.
It creates another storyline. It creates more drama. It's big.
I'm okay with the championship game being in a good climate because you want the best football.
Correct.
But those and don't tell me the regular season won't matter because you're telling me that you won't be striving to get home field advantage.
Not only that, you still can't lose 5 games.
Right.
You still have to have that 1, maybe 2 losses at most to get into those top 8.
If you're in the top 8, you might get lucky and lose 3 games.
Maybe. Depends on how tough your schedule will be.
But you're more than likely 0, 1, or 2 losses.
That's it.
And here's the thing. You think about this. Like, everybody wanted to complain that Alabama beat nobody this year, and they really kind of didn't. They beat Michigan, and I know I'm saying, but Michigan wasn't a bad team at all, okay? They beat Michigan. They beat Texas A&M, but then they lost to LSU and Auburn. Right. But here's the thing. They went toe-to-toe with LSU. I know LSU was controlled that game most of the play. And they went toe-to-toe with Auburn, 2 rivals that weren't bad.
Without Tua.
They have 2 losses. You're telling me that Alabama wouldn't be a good top 8 team to be in there?
If you go with the current rankings right now, they're not in.
True.
But it's interesting. A 3-loss Wisconsin team would be in right now.
But here's the thing. Okay, listen to this. How different would those rankings look
if we had 8 teams?
If the 8 teams moved in.
Absolutely.
Because here's the thing. After 4, the bowl committee knows it really doesn't matter. For the last rankings, after 4, it really doesn't matter because it doesn't matter. They're not, except for the group of 5 team,
right.
They pretty much don't get anything for being higher.
Right. So, I mean, you got Georgia and Baylor who played, Oregon, Wisconsin. Like, those are your top 8. So they kind of played it out a little bit.
Yeah.
But the winners of those games now, like Georgia would have went and maybe played Clemson, something like that.
Yeah.
That would have been a fun game.
But here's the thing, too. Like at that point,
Georgia's got to go
too. Let's be honest. Alabama wasn't what are they, 12th on there?
They're 13th.
13th.
They're behind a 9-3 Auburn. They're not only because they lost to them.
Which Auburn has that argument because we made that argument. Auburn beat them. Yeah. They beat them.
Florida's the team that would jump over Wisconsin. Florida's at 9. That's a really good 2-loss team that competed with LSU and kind of had a chance to win that game.
Right.
But that would change. Wisconsin would be out of that top 8.
Wisconsin would not have been.
Florida's probably in there. I would say Baylor's probably not in there as well.
No.
Georgia, I think, would have an argument. So would Oregon. Being the Pac-12 champ, you got to that gives that.
So if we were to do this, I think they got the top 4 right by the way this season played out.
If you look down the schedule, absolutely.
Right. LSU, Clemson, and Ohio State were by far the best 3 teams. Look, I know Oklahoma was good, but Oklahoma was the best team that was left. Based on record and who.
Let's go down the list. Georgia already got beat by LSU.
Right.
They're out. And Oregon, right? They got beat by Arizona State. That's a bad loss. Baylor already lost to Oklahoma twice. You're not going to put them over Oklahoma. Wisconsin got blown out by Ohio State.
Yeah, I mean, they played them tough, but you're not. But see, they still had 3 losses. You lose to Illinois.
Florida's the only one with 2 losses in there that might have had any sort of argument at all as a 2-loss team.
So here's the thing: if you went up to 8, I think Oregon's in.
Pac-12 champ.
Pac-12 champ. I think Oregon's in. I think
Georgia SEC runner-up.
The thing is, I think.
Would you put Bama in over Georgia?
Yes.
Yeah.
I think Alabama would be in. Alabama would have been in 8. I'm almost positive Alabama would have been in 8.
Yeah.
Georgia had an argument. I think Georgia would have an argument, and you could be slighted if they did. But if you want to go with eye test, who's better, Alabama or Georgia?
No, eye test, and we know how the pollsters, they love Bama.
Right.
So
here's what I would have had. I would have had Oregon and Alabama for sure.
So now you got 6.
There's 6. I think if you go to 8,
does Florida get in for you? Does Georgia?
Maybe.
Would you put another SEC Georgia? Would you put Georgia in there again?
It's possible. But here's the thing. I think Baylor would have somewhat of an argument because they played Oklahoma well twice.
Correct. Right.
And that was their only 2 losses up until the bowl game.
How about Big Ten runner-up?
See, that's what I'm saying. Like Wisconsin, maybe because they did play them twice, but the problem is they had that Illinois loss.
That's a bad loss.
It's a bad loss.
Penn State's up there too.
But I think you would have got really close to that 7 and 8. I don't know what you would have done with that 7 and 8.
How about Utah, Pac-12?
No.
You think
no. Utah got waxed by Oregon. I mean, they got waxed by Oregon, and then they really drew an egg in the Texas.
Apparently, if you give Tom Herman a month to prepare,
Texas is like, screw the regular season. We're just going to whip whoever we get in the bowl game.
It doesn't matter.
The game doesn't matter,
really
but we're going to whip them.
Team last year
whipped them in really Utah and whipped them.
Give Tom Herman enough time to prepare, and he's really good. But give him a week, he can't do anything.
Yeah.
8 would be fun.
8 would be fun. I'm telling you right now, if I really had a chance to expand it, I would expand it to 16. The first round would be on home campuses. You give every Power 5 team, every Power 5 champion, a automatic bid. And I think you kind of almost force Notre Dame to get into a division conference and make them win it. So then you have that's what, 5 schools, right?
Guaranteed 5 out of Power 5.
Power 5. I think you guarantee 2 spots, at least 2 spots to like Group of 5.
Memphis or something like that.
I say, you can throw in Conference USC champion maybe, but I think then you get into too many. So I guess if you want to do all the champions, that's one thing. But I think you give 2 to non-Power 5 schools, like the top 2 ranked teams. So there's 7, and then that can give you 9 at-large bids.
Memphis and Boise would be your teams this year.
Yeah. And if you want to rank them 15th and 16th, that's fine.
Then your at-large could be your runner-ups if they played a really close game with the SEC.
Or whatever. You have 9.
LSU blew Georgia out.
Yeah.
So now
but you have 9. You have 9 at-large teams.
Right. It would be fun.
How fun would that be? And here's the thing.
If you're going to these places.
That gives you that. Here's the thing. It's going to help mid-major. Well, I know they're mid-major in college in basketball, but let's just say mid-major football teams recruit a little bit better.
Absolutely.
Because now all of a sudden they have a legitimate shot
of winning a national
title.
Correct. Why do you want to go to Boise when you know no matter how good your team is, you're probably not going to make
You're not going to make a national championship.
You
and they get some really good players.
They do.
But they get guys that aren't quite at the Power 5 level.
Doesn't really necessarily need it more. Bama and Clemson, they're full. Their scholarships are done. And this guy might be a good player, but sorry, we don't have any more scholarships.
Or the kid just knows, look, I would love to go to Alabama. I probably could go to Alabama, but I'm never going to play in Alabama.
I'm going to sit for 3 years and might play my senior year.
Right.
Or I go to Boise and I start my sophomore year.
Yeah.
Right.
And then you're basically just hoping to make yourself NFL worthy.
Yeah. That's kind of where those teams are at. But it would be interesting.
It'd be fun.
Like I said, I like the fact that the NFL, you have to go to their stadium. You have to play in front of their home crowd. You have to deal with their weather, whether it's good or bad. It changes things.
And then how much fun would it be then is if you played the 16 games at home, or on campus sites, and then do like the NFL does, and if the number 1 seed wins and the 15 seed wins, the 15 plays the number 1, and then now and then here's the thing, that number 1 has even more incentive to be the number 1 seed.
Absolutely.
Because if the 15 seed beats the 2 seed in the NCAA tournament, right? They play the 7-10 game
or something, or 7, yeah.
Right? Yeah, because it's 8-9.
Yep.
7-10 game. Can you imagine if the 15 seed won and the 1 seed won, and now the 1 seed gets to play the 15 seed?
Right.
How big of a deal would it be to be the 1 seed then? And it'd be easy to do because you're playing them at bowl games. It's not like they're in the same region where they can't travel.
And the money that they're going to bring in,
just put me in charge of this.
You already have it.
Right? Apparently how fun would this be?
Let's make some.
Because I'm telling you, then you can't say that the regular season doesn't matter. Now, would the 15 seed beat the 2 seed? Probably not. I get that, but they have a shot.
It would be like.
But here's the thing: as a 1 seed, you win that game. All of a sudden, you're like, man, I hope that 15 seed wins. We get to play the 15 seed and not a 7-8 seed or 8-9, whatever it is. You know what I'm saying?
Instead of playing like an Oregon, you'd play Memphis or something like that.
Right. Yeah. No offense to Memphis, but you'd rather play Memphis and Oregon right now.
Absolutely.
And it gets Memphis. It just, oh my gosh, it'd be fun.
There's a lot
of
possibilities.
I got it. We make money. We got it.
That's the outline for it right there. That's a template.
They can call me. Football,
I'll give you your number.
Playoff committee, you can call me. I'll answer.
It's all about ratings and money.
I have an Apple phone now. I'll probably say maybe playoff football committee.
Just put in there, look, this is your opportunity to get more SEC teams in the tournament.
The SEC love it. Yeah.
You might get 4 teams in that dang
tournament. You know who would go for it? The Pac-12, because then they'd finally be in the playoff.
Guaranteed to get your champion.
Right?
Now, let's say that champion's got 3 or 4 losses.
So?
I know that doesn't happen very often.
So?
But
they earned it.
You win the conference. You're in.
Yeah. Oh, you're talking about the Power 5 champion. Yeah, why not? If you have 16 teams, why not?
A 3-loss Pac-12 team who just beat an undefeated Pac-12 team in the championship.
They earned it.
They're in.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because look, you're only reserving 5 spots from that. Because 5 of the 16 spots. If we went 16 teams, we'd have 5 spots.
Because it has happened.
Yeah.
Where I believe it was.
Well, can you imagine if Clemson would have lost?
Wasn't it Penn
Virginia?
State? Wasn't it Penn State a few years ago? Didn't they win the Big Ten? But Ohio State went to the playoffs.
Yes.
It happened with Bama as well too.
Yeah.
Under your system, you win your conference, you're in.
If you go 16 teams, yes.
You can do that. Now, then my question would be, let's say that 3-loss team who beat the undefeated team in as well based off eye test, strength of schedule, all that.
I think they have a very good argument to be in the
Does it diminish the conference championship at all?
How?
If you're undefeated and you go to your conference championship game and you know even with a loss you're still going to make the playoffs, do you play your starters? Would you think that would happen?
But
I'm just playing devil's advocate.
No, right. But at what point is a conference championship still really cool?
It should be. Very important. It's very important.
I know I played in some dumb little conference when I was in college, but a conference championship would have been awesome.
Huge. Right.
We wanted a conference championship.
Right.
This crap about, conference championships don't matter. You tell me that these kids don't want to win a championship?
To get a ring. They get a nice conference championship ring.
Yeah,
why would they not want it?
Why would you not want to win the conference championship?
I'm just throwing it out there. Does it diminish that conference championship because that team knows it's already going?
But here's the thing: if they already know they're going, but winning that conference championship
get some home field, maybe
get some home
field.
There
you go. All right.
like, okay, let's say Bama's
One or
undefeated.
two seed.
Let's say Alabama's undefeated. They're playing a 2-loss Georgia team.
Right.
Okay. If Bama wins, they're probably the 1 seed. With the advantages of playing the 16 seed first and then the worst team remaining after the first round. Or they lose and drop to like a 4 seed because it's possible.
Correct.
And now you have a tougher second round game. Well, you have a tougher first round game, and then you have a tougher second round game.
So you're right. It probably wouldn't diminish it.
I'm telling you, it doesn't diminish the regular season, and it does not diminish. And they can't be like, oh, we get in. You're telling me right now that Bama would be okay having 2 losses and having to travel to Ohio State?
Right. Yeah. No.
They're good enough to beat Ohio State. Absolutely. Alabama, on most years, are good enough to beat anybody, anywhere.
Right.
But when's the last time they played in cold weather?
I can't remember if they have they really ever played in cold, because usually they play non-conference games in August, September, where it's still pretty decent.
The SEC, if you go and play in like at Kentucky or Vanderbilt or Tennessee,
that's about
it can get cooler during that time. Okay? But I lived in Tennessee for 6 years. It does kind of get cool towards Christmas time, but it really doesn't really get cold until January, February.
Right.
So you're really not in that yet.
You're cold, but
and here's the thing.
Snow.
Not only that, instead of giving them a month off, okay, maybe give them a week off after the regular season and then just start it.
Right. Why do they need 4 weeks off, for crying out loud?
And then you get sloppy football because they have 4 weeks off.
They're rusty.
Yeah.
Or you get boring games because they've had so much time to game plan.
Yeah.
Now it's just straight up. And I feel like the national championship game could be like that. You got 2 weeks to prepare for Joe Burrow. Brent Venables took it to Tua last year with that defense.
Yeah.
I think it could be a not boring.
And if you really want to generate more games, you could have anybody loses in the first round gets to play again.
Now you're getting a little
in a bowl game. That's a little crazy.
Do like a double.
No, not a double elimination, but they just get like a consolation. But they probably wouldn't play. They guys would really set up. But I'm telling you right now, it matters. It would matter. Now, if you go 8 teams, and I'm not saying give the Power 5 conferences because of what you said, like a 3-loss team could win it, and I don't think. But if there were 16 teams, yes, the conference championships.
Now, here's what this also does: is you see these guys sitting out because they're playing in the Cotton Bowl or some other bowl that they're not really excited about. They're sitting out ready for the NFL. You get 16 teams; those guys don't sit out.
They don't.
Because the other bowls that are playing out there are with guys that probably aren't first-round draft picks.
Right.
So now you have those guys still playing to impress NFL scouts. And you got the first-round draft picks playing for a national title.
Listen, I don't know who played the last bowl game. It was like Miami versus Louisiana or something like that, whatever it was.
I can't remember what it was.
Did any of them guys sit out? I doubt it. I doubt it. If they did, we didn't hear about it because those are guys that are really
still trying to impress.
It's like Saban said.
People.
Saban's like, unless you're a surefire like first rounder or even in the top 15, there's no reason why you shouldn't sit out. And here's the thing too: they talk about more guys don't get hurt in games than guys get hurt.
Exactly. Sam Bradford, the year after he won the Heisman, tore his ACL, played like literally 2 games that next year.
Mm-hmm.
And he got hurt the very first game against BYU, and then came back for Texas and got hurt again. Still got drafted number 1.
Yeah.
He didn't even play that last season because he was hurt. Still picked him up number 1 because of what he did. Tua.
Yeah, he's going to get drafted.
He's going to get drafted. He's going to recover.
And actually, somebody said his injury might actually help him in the NFL because he's probably going to sit a year and learn instead of getting thrown into the flames.
Well, exactly. He's not going to run out there and start right away for the Bengals or whoever picks him.
I'm telling you, a 16-team tournament where the first round is on campus sites would be unbelievable.
Because I just don't want to diminish the regular season.
It's not.
And I don't think it is. But I don't want to diminish the regular season of college because that's what makes it.
It's awesome. It's better. True. I agree. But I think the fight for seeding would be so much if you would do that, especially if you would rearrange it after the first. I'm telling you, after the first round would make it awesome.
It could work. They need to call you.
Great. Yeah, call me. I will work. Just pay me a little bit.
Put a PowerPoint together.
Actually, you don't have to pay me. I'll just design it, and then once it goes big, I can get the royalties
from it. You're not asking for much.
No, I'm not asking for much.
It could work. It could work for sure. And you'd have less complaints. I know this year there wasn't a ton of teams battling for that 4th spot.
Yeah, there was
a legit argument, but in the past there has been. You would eliminate a lot of that stuff because you go down to the 17th, 18th team.
Look,
come on.
I get.
We're talking Iowa now.
I get some people would be like, well, okay, then you're still going to have arguments. Yeah, you will. But at that point, if you can't get in the top 16 teams, you had your chance.
Correct. Right. You played your conference. Whatever you did there shows everybody that you either deserve it or you don't. So, for instance, Iowa would be probably left out this year, even though they had a pretty decent year. They only lost to decent teams. They beat Minnesota, whatever. But I don't think they're playoffs. They're not ready. They're not.
See what it eliminates. And I think it might even give a little bit more to the regular season because, like we talked about, and again, Michigan was not good enough to be there. They lost to Alabama. I get that. But going into the Ohio State game, they only had 2 losses. We're playing about as well as anybody not named Clemson, LSU, and Ohio State. And if they would have beat Ohio State in that final game with only 2 losses, they still wouldn't have been in the top 4.
Nope. But they'd have been in the top 16.
Right.
They still might have made the top 16 if you did it.
Right. But you know what I'm saying? Like, there's a team. Now, obviously, Michigan has tons to play for because they're playing Ohio State. But what about a team that doesn't have a great rivalry game, like a Penn State? They don't really have a rivalry game at the end of the year. Even Michigan State doesn't. Like, they had Michigan earlier, but Michigan plays Ohio State. They don't. But what if they don't have that rivalry game at the end of the year? Right now, all of a sudden, they're like, well, what does it really matter?
Right.
That's where it doesn't matter.
Right.
But all of a sudden, now you're like, hey, we got a chance to be in the top 16. We're playing really, really well. We have 2 losses, but Ohio State's got no losses, so we can't go to the championship anyways.
Right.
Because the East is freaking loaded. And now you're playing for a game like, you know what, we still have a chance to play. I'm telling you what, it make great end of the year games that aren't necessarily rivalry games.
Do you feel like that you would have too many rematches of games that already took place?
There are
in the regular season because you almost have the same teams. At least
true,
the last few years.
But you have so many Division I teams now that what's the possibility? Here's the thing: the NFL has rematches the very next week,
all the time. So you could get an LSU Bama matchup again.
Okay.
You could get a Michigan Ohio State matchup again.
Okay.
You're okay with that?
Like if they earn it, oh my God. When they flipped into BCS and they played LSU and Bama right away again, that kind of But if you make it through a tournament and you happen to play each other again, go for it.
Like UNC and Carolina playing in the tournament.
UNC is Carolina.
Or Duke, I'm sorry. UNC playing Duke.
Well, see, that's not going to happen because North Carolina is not very good this year. They're not going to make the tournament.
They'll make the tournament.
No, they're not. They're awful.
Because they're UNC.
They lost to Georgia Tech.
They're going to show. They'll have them ready to go by the conference tournament.
But I'm just saying, like at that point, like, do you really want to see a rematch like that? Maybe not. But at the same time, if they make it through a tournament and earn it,
what are you gonna do, right?
Right.
You gotta reward them. You just have a lot of the same teams. If you're looking at the top 16 right now, it would be fun because if you force Notre Dame into a conference,
I think
whether it's the ACC or Big Ten or whatever, I think
they'd go to the ACC because they're scared of the Big Ten.
Right. Yeah, the Big Ten will be too difficult for them.
Oh my God!
Or you put them in the side with Nebraska,
the West,
and them so they can win it because everyone loves Notre Dame. You'd have a lot of SEC teams. You'd have a couple of Big 12 teams. You'd have a lot of Big 10 teams. A couple Pac-12 teams. But it'd be interesting to see how it plays out.
But I'm telling you.
But if you let teams like you said, Memphis and Boise, and
give 2 spots to them. Give not just one. Give 2 spots to them.
2 spots to them.
Yeah.
All right.
How fun would that? I mean, because here's the thing: 2 spots out of 16 is not that much.
Right. You could probably even make a case.
And here's the thing: most times there are 2 pretty good non-Power 5 schools that at least earn it. There's not been very often where it's only been like one. Like every year, it seems like there's like a Memphis and a Boise, or Boise and a Central Florida.
Cincinnati had a good year this year.
Cincinnati's up there, or
UCF,
Hawaii. Way back when they had Colt Brennan.
Yeah. Fun team.
Just things like that. I mean, you've had teams that do that. Like Houston.
Like a Navy or Air Force team, or something like that.
Oh my gosh!
Like Army last year could have made a case to get in there.
How fun would that be? Like watching Army play
go against Clemson or Ohio State or something like that.
I was thinking like Alabama.
Run that triple option against.
Oh my gosh,
that could have been
interesting. It'd be fun. Speaking of rivalries, real quick.
Good stuff.
Lane Kiffin went to Mississippi. Okay, that's cool. And then, Mississippi State doubled down and hired Mike Leach.
I'm really surprised he went to Mississippi State from Washington State. He had a good thing going up there.
You know what we get to see? An Egg Bowl with Lane Kiffin on one side and Mike Leach on the other side.
We might have to find out and go up to that one maybe. Mississippi's not too far away. That would be fun.
You know what else is going to be fun? The press conferences with them and Ed Orgeron.
Here's with Mike Leach and Ed Orgeron. Here's the thing. Mike Leach has been successful everywhere he's won.
Yeah.
He's got that. He's got it down. He's got it figured out on how to score points and win 10 games
and throw passes.
Lane Kiffin, though, I know he had a pretty good year this year, but in the Tennessee was
Tennessee
rough.
wasn't. It was just 1 year. Yeah.
The Raiders were really bad.
you
Really
knew all
bad.
that. How many years was he with the
It
Raiders?
was like a half a year. No, he made it that 1 year, but can he be successful at Ole Miss?
I think he can.
You do.
Because here's
In
I
the
don't-
SEC with
I don't
big boys.
think
Bama and
he
LSU.
can be. I don't think he's a. I don't think he's like an Alabama guy, right? Because I think
he's an Alabama coordinator.
well, that's what I'm saying. But like as a head coach, I don't think he's an Alabama guy because I think his shtick, the way he goes, probably doesn't work at a school like that.
So
It didn't work at USC.
The big name programs. He doesn't have it for.
I don't think that's just my opinion.
But Ole Miss being just a little bit.
Look. No
less
disrespect to Ole Miss,
no,
but
I
they
know
are.
what you're
They
saying.
are.
Yeah.
So
They're
what
not
you're going
Bama,
to
they're
get
not
is you're
Clemson.
going to get kids that want to go there because of him that maybe are pretty good and probably could go to Alabama or whatever, but they're just a little bit below and they want to go to Ole Miss to be there. And I heard it's really pretty at Ole Miss too.
Or is this a Scott Frost situation all over again?
But see, I think
Because Nebraska traditionally is a big name program,
correct,
but not
not Mississippi. But look, like Scott Frost, like Nebraska, hate Nebraska, it doesn't matter. The expectations they put on Scott Frost were ridiculous.
Right.
At Nebraska. Like, I know you hate Nebraska, but you even can see that.
Oh,
The
absolutely.
expectations they put on him right away at Nebraska were stupid.
After that first year, they were like, okay, he's got to get his guys in here.
They put him as Big Ten champions this year.
They were going to win 9 or 10 games.
Stupid.
Big Ten.
They lost to Indiana. They lost to Purdue.
They won 4 or 5 games.
Five games.
Bad.
5 games. They won 5 games because they lost that one to Iowa.
Dear Lord.
But look, I think there's going to be expectations for Kiffin, but he's not from Mississippi. He's not an Ole Miss graduate.
And Ole Miss traditionally is not a powerhouse.
They're not a powerhouse. They've been good sometimes, but they're not a powerhouse.
So you think he can be successful at Ole Miss?
I do.
Okay. I expect Mississippi State to come out next year being
Mississippi
much
State
better.
is going to throw the ball
Much
75 times a game.
And everyone knows that. And they're just he's going to get an offensive line that does nothing but pass block.
Yep.
And he's going to get a quarterback that can sling it. And he's
Gardner
gonna-
Minshew's little brother.
He's going to get one
I don't know if he has a brother.
one wide receiver, and he's going to have 2 or 3 running backs. Nobody cares about the defense, apparently, but they're going to throw it 75 times. They're going to score 30 to 40 points, and you're going to beat them 50 to 40.
Probably.
That's his MO.
Probably.
He did it at Texas Tech.
But I'm telling you, that
Washington
Egg Bowl
State.
is going to be fun now.
At least you got big names in there.
They do. They're both in the SEC.
SEC is going to get you recruits too.
It is.
Oh,
I
you
mean-
want to come play for the SEC? Yep. So I see Mike Leach being. I'm excited.
I mean,
about
here's the
Mike
thing,
Leach.
too. Like, would you rather go to Mississippi or would you rather go to Washington?
Probably Mississippi.
Yeah, it rains all the
Just
time
for
in
the-
Washington.
just for the weather.
Pullman,
Right.
Washington. No
Right.
offense to Pullman.
Yeah, I don't like the rain. It's right
I
above
don't-
snow.
I don't even know where Pullman's at in Washington.
No idea. No idea.
I think it's in the middle of nowhere.
Ryan Leaf put him on the map for me. That's
That's true.
That's the first time I'd ever heard of Washington State was when Ryan Leaf came out and
It's true.
was like this great quarterback.
Yeah, and then that worked out in the
that
NFL.
was it.
And then the flag that flies at game day each week.
Right. There you go. Yep. Mike Leach at Mississippi State. I'm surprised by that one.
I was a
I
little
didn't even
shocked.
know he was thinking about leaving.
Well, I think he would have been Tennessee's coach had they not screwed that
You know
up
what?
a couple years ago.
Right. That would have been much better for Mike Leach. I think he's a big name coach.
Yeah,
I think he can.
I think
coach
he
at a
can.
big
I mean, he
program
did
like
pretty good at Texas Tech, which I know Texas
Which
Tech's
is-
not a big name,
right.
but
He did
but yeah,
real
he-
good at Texas Tech.
yeah. And honestly, had he apparently not put Craig James' son in a barn or something like that, he'd probably still be at Texas Tech.
Right.
Well, either that or a bigger place. I know, like, people were joking that Michigan should have gone after him, if Harbaugh would leave
No.
or something like that.
No.
But I don't think he's the guy for,
Look.
like, a Michigan.
Right now, Michigan has 3 biggest sports: baseball, basketball, and football. I think you have your guys.
Yeah,
I think you have coaches that can win it all for you.
yeah.
I don't think you mess with it.
I don't either. Honestly, I know what they're saying. We can go all day about Harbaugh, but I agree.
You're not going to get anybody better, number one. He's
No.
a Michigan guy.
Right.
Stop pushing that guy out the door. I know he hasn't beat Ohio State.
He needs
yet.
to beat Ohio
You know
State.
how good Ohio State is, though? They've been really good.
See, Ohio
How many
State.
people's beaten Ohio State?
Look, Ohio State's been on a stupid run.
Right.
But here's the thing, too. And I'm not trying to say that he's going to be able to do what Dabo did, but for 5 years at Clemson, Dabo wasn't winning.
Now
Now all you got to do is flip a switch, not flip a switch, just get over that hump, and then it changes. Exactly. Ohio State, for the longest time, I mean, when Cooper was there, they didn't beat Michigan. Right. They didn't beat them.
It happens.
And then all of a sudden it flipped, and now they beat us all the time. I get that.
Yeah.
It changes.
We went through a stretch at Oklahoma where Texas was kicking.
Think about this.
Vince Young and Colt McCoy.
Nebraska was unbeatable for a while there.
For a decade.
Right? Roughly. Miami was one of the best college football teams in the history. 80s. And then in the 90s for a little bit.
Oh, how about 2000, 2001?
That's right. Yeah, they were ridiculous. And now they lost to Louisiana Tech in the bowl game.
They didn't even score a point, man. Gosh, that's embarrassing. Wow.
I don't know.
Yeah, I got a couple friends that are Miami Hurricane fans, and they're furious. But they did fire some people, so we'll see what happens. But that program has the ability to come up. But no, Michigan, you have your guys. Stop bothering with it. Let him do his thing. Like you said, it's going to turn. Michigan's going to win the next 4 or 5 in a row. Maybe not next year, but eventually it's going to happen.
It'll happen. It will happen.
Sooner than later, it's going to happen.
Because
the odds are in your favor.
At some point, and I hate to say it because they've just hit. Ohio State's going to miss on a quarterback, right?
Right.
And they're just because look, you can have athletes all day long. If you don't have a quarterback, it matters because Michigan has a lot of athletes and Shea Patterson, But if you don't have a quarterback, it matters. I mean, think about
Harbaugh's going to get his guy too one of these days.
One of these days,
he's going to get the next.
They're going to hit
or something like that. Yeah.
And look, they could be 5 stars all day long. You don't hit on them all the time.
Yep.
Freaking Baker Mayfield couldn't make it on Texas Tech's team and ended up being a Heisman Trophy winner.
Walked on twice.
Right.
Had to walk off.
You just have to hit right.
I don't know.
If Justin Fields didn't move to Ohio State this year,
correct,
they weren't a top 4 team.
They weren't as big.
They were very, very good, but he made the difference. Because if you don't have the quarterback, you can key on J.K. Dobbins.
Yep, they could have lined up 9 in the box, dominated Dobbins. And, that defense is still pretty good. But, yeah, Ohio State would have made it to playoffs, for sure. I think Michigan would probably beat them this year. I don't know who Ohio State has for backups, but it wasn't Justin Fields.
Right.
For one.
Right.
Michigan, you got your guy. Stop complaining about it.
I'm with you.
I know you listen to all that chatter about
oh my God,
every time something happens, get rid of Harbaugh. Stop. Juwan Howard's your guy. And,
I like what he's doing
and
too.
Your baseball coach just seems to have things going in the right direction.
Yeah. National championship game. I think it's all right. So college football would be more fun with 16 playoffs. NFL, I think, pretty good.
I like this time of year for the NFL. I mean, because the regular season, like I said, you can have 4 or 5 losses and still make that.
We speak about having to have quarterbacks. Think about this. Had Lamar Jackson not played the way he did this year, are the Ravens even in the playoffs?
Nope, they're not. Maybe in the playoffs. I mean,
pretty much
that division wasn't very good.
But here's the other thing, too. Okay, if you want to talk about quarterbacks, the Tennessee Titans with Mariota were not very good at the beginning of the year. Tannehill comes in, plays awesome, and all of a sudden they're maybe, some people are picking, like
Patriots.
Me, are picking the Titans to beat the Ravens.
No, that's not going to happen.
It's going to happen. Watch.
But they did beat the Patriots.
They did.
With Ryan Tannehill beat Tom Brady. I still can't get over that. Ryan Tannehill went to the Dolphins because the Dolphins are trash.
But you all of a sudden you get a quarterback that's okay.
Ravens by 10.
I mean, think about this. The Packers also were awful in the 80s.
Oh,
they hit on Brett Favre.
Boom.
And then Aaron Rodgers falls into their freaking lap and he sits for 3 years, stays, which, I mean, he didn't have much of a choice, stays, and then comes up and Jesus.
They've been great.
Can the Packers not have a quarterback for once? No,
they had Don Majkowski back before Brett Favre.
The Magic Man.
Magic Man, Don Majkowski.
That is true.
Dear Lord.
But it's like, think about this. The Packers have had 2 quarterbacks for the last 25 years.
Yeah.
The Bears have had 45 of them.
Yeah.
They haven't hit on one of them.
Right. The Raiders, I think, finally got their guy. Now we got to build around him. But for a long time, after it was Rich Gannon in the early 2000s.
He was good.
Who was really good. And then it was a mess with Jamarcus Russell. And
that was a good draft pick.
Dear Lord, everybody else but Jamarcus Russell was successful.
You guys drafted the kid out of Penn State, too, didn't you?
Yeah, what was Matt something? Can't remember. But I think
McGloin?
Yeah, he's still on the roster.
Is he really?
The backup to the backup to the backup.
Is he on the practice squad?
I think he's scout team. But he's on the sidelines at least. But he's out there. He gets preseason game time.
Raiders.
But you're right. Get your quarterback, you'll be fine.
It makes a big difference.
It's huge, especially in the NFL. They can stay for like Tom Brady 20 years.
I mean, look at this.
Ridiculous.
I mean, we'll just keep talking about quarterbacks for a minute. LSU has been this defensive team that couldn't score, and then Joe Burrow goes off, and all of a sudden they're amazing.
Joe Burrow from Ohio State.
Yeah, it came from Ohio State. But you know, like But
you're right. LSU was a whole new team this year.
Trash.
I mean, they had no offense for a decade, probably since Jamarcus Russell or Matt Flynn when they won the national championship. They were pretty decent then, but now Joe Burrow shows up and he's having the best year apparently ever in the history of college football.
It's pretty good.
It's not bad.
He's okay.
Clemson's going to stop him, though. Clemson's going to shut him down.
Yeah, speaking about another team that just hits on quarterbacks, we got Taj Boyd, and then we got Deshaun Watson. Oh, wait, Sunshine falls in our lap.
Back to back to back. But before that, what was Clemson? Hadn't won anything since 81.
Really? It's true.
Decent team.
Yeah.
But then you get a winning program with Taj Boyd, kind of started it.
Mm-hmm.
National championships.
But as soon as – and the thing is, you miss on a quarterback, it can set you back. Like years.
Oklahoma did it. Oklahoma had for years there. You talk about Jason White back in 2003, 2004, and then they kind of fell off. And Rhett Bomar showed up and was not very good.
I've never heard of that guy.
Rhett Bomar played part of the season, not very good. Paul Thompson came over in 2005.
What? Who?
Paul Thompson is a wide receiver. He ended up finishing out the year. They went to play Boise and. Paul Thompson was a quarterback, but Rhett Bomar they missed on.
Wait!
They get Sam Bradford.
Hold on.
They get.
You kind of glossed over that. Wait, we got to go back to this game. Tony, you seem to like teams that just are infamous for bad beats.
If you were to take the top 10 greatest games, college and pro, I'm pretty sure my Raiders in Oklahoma are in there losing every single one of them.
Let's see. The Raiders lost.
Tuck Rule.
Statue of Liberty play.
How about the Immaculate Reception?
Is that against the Raiders?
Against the Raiders.
Yeah.
It's an illegal play, by the way. Illegal catch on Franco Harris.
I don't get that. I don't get that rule. Why that would have been illegal? I mean, I know
it was.
The rule.
It was who it hit. Franco Harris could not touch the ball after because it hit one of his other players or something like that. That rule's been changed, I think. So those are three big games that are super popular that my teams are in losing.
You know what happens after Oklahoma loses big games? The other team proposes to cheerleaders.
Just that one guy, Ian Johnson. I mean, I remember that. God,
dude, he threw that ball farther in the stands than probably anybody in Oklahoma before that year.
That's true.
Dude, he chucked that ball into the stands.
But to go back to what we were talking about, Oklahoma was down that year on quarterbacks.
Yeah, obviously.
Then you get Bradford, you get Landry Jones, you get Baker and Kyler, and I mean. Now you build up a program and you still can't win a playoff game yet.
What happens next year for Oklahoma, though? Now that are they going to get another transfer quarterback tomorrow?
I don't think so. I think Lincoln Riley actually came out and said he's not looking for any transfer or anything like that. I think Spencer Rattler, who's been sitting on the bench for a year.
Is he a snake?
I think he kind of looks like one. He's got this white-haired looking thing going on. I think he's going to be okay. He runs really well, and they just recruited a 4-star who during his little commitment to Oklahoma, he put the horns down. So I got
did he get fined? Did the Big 12 fine him?
I don't know, but it was all over my Twitter on all the Oklahoma retweets, all that stuff.
Of course it was.
So Oklahoma's going to be fine. Michigan, you got your guy.
We do, but it's going to be interesting who quarterbacks for them. We got Dylan McCaffrey there, who's that bloodline's pretty good. And then we got Joe Milton, who throws the ball like 700 miles an hour.
Okay.
So we'll see. It'll be interesting. We got some guys coming back. So
Harbaugh get his man one of these days. You want to take some picks for we got games, NFL games.
Well, okay, so
I know we talked about.
Let's talk about it. Okay, all right. Picks. Let's pick. Let's
need to pick. Who do you like? First game of the weekend, Saturday, 4:30 Eastern. Vikings Niners in San Fran. Niners are a 7-point favorite.
I think the Niners win, but the Vikings cover. I think it's a close game. I do. I think it's a close game. What do you think?
Kirk Cousins scares me because it's Kirk Cousins.
Yeah.
But Dalvin Cook is really good.
Yep.
That defense played really good last week.
They did play very well.
Lots of pressure on Drew Brees. I don't like either one of these quarterbacks as far as experience goes, so I'm going to take both teams have good defenses. The Niners is better. I'm taking defense at home. Niners win, but they don't cover the 7, the 6.
Yeah, I think it's close. Okay. All right, what's next?
Close. Then the night game, 8 o'clock. Titans, Ravens. I already know who you're going to pick.
Yep. I'm going
Do you want
Titans.
to talk about
I'm,
it? Oh, did you?
I'm
you-
look.
give us
Like
more
I
insight
said,
on
like
this thing.
we talked about it last.
Why do you like Derrick Henry?
Derrick
Because
Henry.
He's a monster.
He's a monster right now. Derrick Henry controls this game. The Titans slow they slow
Lamar Jackson
They
down.
slow Lamar Jackson down. Gosh, I can't talk right now. I'm getting excited. They shorten the game. They win a close game. I think they hold.
Ravens
They
favored by 10.
They hold the Ravens
Over-
under 20.
Get out of this office right now. Get
Under 20.
Under 20.
Under 20.
The Ravens are favored by 10.
Good, great. 21-17.
That's saying a lot. I don't think the Ravens
I'm either crazy or I'm
or
Nostradamus.
genius, right? I don't think the Ravens are going to cover the 10, but they are going to win this game. But it is lower scoring, not as low as you think it is, but they're not going to put up 35, 40 points. 28, 24-ish. It's a close game. Ravens win, but they don't cover.
Upset special Titans.
I
Titans win.
like Derrick Henry. Ryan Tannehill's a great story.
Derrick Henry runs for over
Ravens,
150.
Too much. 150. That's a lot.
That's a lot.
He's,
I don't know about
he's
that
a
one.
beast, though.
He is pretty good.
He's like it's almost like they showed some of his high school highlights. He was a quarterback in high school.
It's not fair.
But it wasn't fair. It was a grown adult man child out there running over kindergartners. It looked
Yeah.
ridiculous. He was a quarterback, but he just literally dropped back and then took off running. A, he was faster than everyone, and B, it was like people were just bouncing off him like a video game.
Yeah.
It was so ridiculous.
fun. All right, what's next?
Sunday game, 3 o'clock. Texans at Chiefs. Chiefs favored by 10 in Kansas City. I know it's going to be cold. I don't know about the snow or the weather.
Okay. The Chiefs' defense has been better, but I was listening to the radio this morning. They said the defense has been playing some really bad teams. Like they beat the Bears, they beat the Chargers twice, beat the Raiders. Sorry, but
Over under 51 points.
I think this game is going to be a lot of points. I think
I like J.J. Watt being back.
Texans keep it close.
Patrick Mahomes too
Chiefs
much.
win. I think Chiefs win by 10. I do.
You think they
Yep.
straight up?
Well,
cover the 10.
it's going to be a push because it's going to be 10.
It'll be 10, but they do it.
I think a lot of points. I think it's like a 38-28 game.
I think from what I saw from Deshaun Watson in the last game, where he basically was sacked and just spun out of two guys and made a great play.
Yeah.
I think that he's tested a little bit more now. I think this is his third year in a row he's been in the playoffs. I think that J.J. Watt being back is huge. I like him being back. I think the Texans pull the upset here. Chiefs, they just don't get it done in the playoffs. Andy
Reid worries me a little bit, but I think
the Chiefs and Andy Reid, 2 strikes against you, you're out.
I think if the Chiefs would have been playing somebody else, but I just don't trust the Texans enough.
Slow pitch softball, you get 2 strikes. Andy Reid's 1, and the Chiefs can't win in the playoffs. There's 2 strikes, you're out.
You said slow pitch?
Slow pitch softball, you get 2 strikes.
That's not what I thought you said.
That's what I said. Texans win by a nickel. 5.
That's a weird score.
Like 30, 35, something like that.
Okay.
Night game, Sunday night game, Packers.
Look,
hosting the Seahawks. Green Bay right now favored by 4.5.
I think this is a toss-em game. I do. I think if it wouldn't have snowed, I was 100% behind the Seahawks. But if it snows like it says it's going to snow, and it's that cold,
you got Marshawn Lynch.
I don't think it matters.
In the snow?
It doesn't matter.
Okay.
With the snow and the weather, I'm going Packers.
Yeah, I think that is.
That's
the X factor.
But I really do think it's going to be like a 14-13 or 13-10 game. I think it's going to be low scoring.
It'll be low scoring. It's not going to be one of these barn burners that you're going to line up.
It's just because of the home field and the cold. If it wasn't snowing and cold, I would pick the Seahawks.
If it was in a dome, I'd take Russell Wilson.
Yes. Yeah. Yep.
10 out of 10.
Hey, use your home field advantage.
I'm going to take Aaron Rodgers at home in Green Bay. Fans are going to be too much. The weather's going to be too much for Seattle. Beast mode probably doesn't get off the bus because he's scared.
So
maybe not. Maybe not.
So we both got the Packers, and we both had the Niners.
Other than that,
but we disagree in the AFC games.
Oh yeah,
I have the Titans and the Chiefs.
Look, I can see the Chiefs winning, but I think the Texans win.
You have the Ravens and
Titans
Texans. They're going to win.
Sorry,
they're going to win.
Thank you.
They're going to
taking Tom out.
They're going to win.
Not this week.
You should be praising the Titans for maybe finishing the dynasty that you started.
the Tuck rule started by Charles Woodson from Michigan.
From Michigan against Tom Brady
From Michigan.
All right, fun games. We got a lot of stuff going on. We got college baseball, playoff football. We got some college basketball if we ever eventually get to it. But football's so much fun to talk about.
Want to pick the national title game on Monday night? LSU Clemson.
I think it's gonna be a whole bunch. I think the over under 69.5 in that game.
That's ridiculous.
I think it's over. I think they're going over. I think it's gonna be a shootout.
I think
that's
what everyone's thinking.
I think it's gonna be a shootout.
I'm gonna take it back a notch. Defenses show up in the first half, low scoring first half. They do score a lot in the second half, but not over 70 points.
I have a hard time picking against Clemson and what Dabo can do because they just seem to find a way to win.
I have a hard time picking against that LSU, Joe Burrow, offensive line with
wide receivers. But here's the thing. Last year, Alabama was supposed to run them over in the national championship game. Nobody gave Clemson a chance, and Clemson beat them by about 50.
They put it to
I think it was like 49 to...
Confused two interception pick sixes. Is Joe Burrow more prepared?
He is.
Than Tua was.
I'm going Clemson. Clemson goes back-to-back. Clemson wins 49-45.
Trevor Lawrence has never lost.
49-45.
Trevor Lawrence never lost a college football
game. That's okay.
31-28. Clemson Tigers, Brent Venables, the ex-Oklahoma defensive coordinator, draws up.
You're going to live and die by your ex-players.
Draws up some schemes and blitzes and stunts and whatever else that they do on defense to confuse Joe Burrow just enough that and I don't think LSU's defense can stop Clemson either.
No, I think that's what I'm saying. It's going to be a shootout.
So I think that Clemson defense makes more plays than LSU's defense. So, yes, you're right. It's going to shoot out, but not till second half.
All right.
Not till the adjustments are made. That first half is low scoring because, nerves.
Well, they also haven't played in like 45 days.
Gosh.
I mean, it's been 15. It'll be 15, but still.
Ridiculous.
All right. We're excited. A lot of good stuff. A lot of good football coming up.
To an end. It's kind of sad.
I know. We'll still find a way to talk about it, though.
Well, yeah, absolutely. Well, there'll always be something going on.
And they can call me for the 16 field playoff team.
Let us know.
Yeah. When they call me, I'll let you guys know. All right. A lot of good football coming up. We enjoy talking about it. But until next time, I'm Adam.
I'm Tony. Thanks for listening.